These are the top 10 times the Crown series pissed off the royal family. The illness of the king. The royal family in real life is for sure one of the most secretive groups of people in the world. This reigns true especially when it comes to illness. I mean, do you guys remember anything coming out before the Queen passed away? It sort of just happened all at once. When it comes to the crown, they made a crazy choice to highlight King George VI's cancer, which gave him severe symptoms like coughing up blood and undergoing surgery. This must have struck a chord with the royals as it was such a publicized portrayal of a royal figure going through tough times. The show also got a few things wrong as per usual. This includes when they depicted his illness as already begun in 1947 when it really was diagnosed in 1951. Prince Charles' education. One particular episode is said to have struck a chord with Her Majesty, and not in a good way. According to the Express, the Queen was left upset after seeing episode 9 of season 2, which focuses on the debate between the Queen and Prince Philip about where to send Prince Charles to school. In it, we see a young Charles struggling at Gordonston, the school his father chose, which Philip also attended as a boy. When young Charles found crying over bullying, Prince Philip, played by Matt Smith, tells his eldest son he is bloody weak. But a senior courtier told the publication, the Queen realizes that many who watch The Crown take it as accurately portrayal of the royal family, and she cannot change that. But I can convey that she was upset by the way Prince Philip is depicted by being a father insensitive to his son. She was particularly annoyed at a scene in which Philip has no sympathy for plainly upset Charles while he is flying him home from Scotland. That simply did not happen, the Queen replied. Almost sued. Prince Philip seriously considered suing Netflix for airing an episode in The Crown that implied he was blamed for his older sister's passing. The Sunday Times reported Hugo Vickers, a royal commentator and author, told the newspaper that Philip contacted his advisors at the London firm Ferrer & Co. about his desire to seek legal retribution from Netflix for an episode in season 2 of the hit show. The episode is titled Paterfamilias and portrays the passing of Philip's older sister, Princess Cecilia, who passed alongside her newborn baby in a plane crash in 1937. Philip did not end up suing Netflix, which Richard Fitzwilliams, a royal commentator and film critic, told insiders was not entirely surprising. The problem with the royal family, the moment they sue, if they decide to sue or if they decide to go to court, it means that there's almost an enormous amount of attention. Fitzwilliams said, the reason he did not do it is because the whole world would have heard of this and perhaps some would have believed that it might have been true. Anna Tennant, a close friend of the late Queen Elizabeth, has criticized The Crown, saying that the series is unfair to the royal family. Tennant, who is also formerly known as Lady Glenconner, was a bridesmaid at the Queen's wedding to Prince Philip in 1947, and also served as Princess Margaret's lady-in-waiting, a non-salarized role given to aristocratic woman who carried out duties similar to that of a personal assistant. Speaking on BBC Radio Woman's Hour, Lady Glenconner said that there are many aspects of The Crown that are untrue, including one episode that suggests Prince Philip was responsible for his sister Cecilia taking a flight that resulted in her passing in 1937. She added that that scene where Princess Margaret made up rude limericks with the US President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964 was also fabricated. I don't watch The Crown now because it makes me so angry and it's unfair on members of the royal family. The trouble is, I suppose people in America believe it completely, she added. Charles and Camilla. Bedell Smith theorized the royal family hatched a full-on scheme to get Camilla to marry Andrew Parker Boyles while Prince Charles was on an extended military assignment outside the country. By contrast, Vickers maintained that no such scheme happened or would have even been necessary since Camilla was more smitten with Andrew than with Charles, at least at that point in time. The Crown takes Bedell Smith's theory and runs with it, much to Vickers' disapproval, depicting the Queen Mother and Lord Mountbatten, an uncle of Prince Charles, sending Charles overseas and manipulating the Shand and Parker Boyles family into fast-tracking the 1973 wedding of Camilla and Andrew. At least the Crown does not go as far as to push the never-confirmed rumor that Camilla's father planted a fake Camilla-Andrew engagement notice in the Times to force Andrew's hand. Charles and Camilla again. Season 4 of The Crown, it would appear that Prince Charles was cavorting with Camilla for the entirety of his marriage to Diana, which began with a fairy tale wedding in 1981. Although Camilla married Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973, Charles and Camilla remained friends. In 1979, they resumed their romantic relationship. According to Bedell Smith's biography, Charles and Camilla did not pick up again until 1986. Blatant exaggeration. Does the royal family actually enjoy subjecting non-royals who come for an extended visit to something called the Balmoral Test? In this alleged event, the royal family invited an unwitting non-royal to the rustic Scottish estate, Balmoral, with the intentions of judging that person on their ability to fit in and observe rules of etiquette that they were unlikely to have ever encountered before. That being said, Vickers is adamant that the royal family would never treat anyone as rudely as they were depicted treating Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. While Thatcher didn't write about the Balmoral Test in her memoirs, she did visit the royal family on numerous occasions during the time she held office. Philippe's affair. The Crown depicted Prince Philip as more than just a bit of a cad. While it is true that the real Prince Philip is known for putting his foot in his mouth on multiple occasions, there's no evidence that he had an affair with Russian ballet dancer, as the Crown suggested. In fact, time suggests that the ballet dancer in question, Galina Ulanova, may not even have been heterosexual. The Crown insinuates Philip was not involved in the 1963 intimacy scandal involving Minister of Conflict John Profumo and a man called Stephen Ward, who arranged for high-profile men like Profumo to meet women who were happy to entertain them. The Crown correctly points out a link between Ward and Philip. The Buckingham Palace has always denied Philip's involvement in the scandal, and no evidence since ties him to it. Marriage refusal. Much is made in the Crown of the late Queen Elizabeth II's refusal to allow her sister, Princess Margaret, to marry Peter Townsend, including the Queen's warning to Margaret that any such marriage would result in Margaret being shunned from the family. In real life, the Queen had been so keen on making sure her sister was happy that she had gone so far as to draw up papers that would permit Margaret to retain her royal title upon her marriage to Townsend. According to the BBC, so why didn't the marriage happen? The relationship had simply run its course. Take a look at the early images of the sister and find out what the late Queen's body language reveals in it. Thanks for watching.